All right. Now, when I was studying social work, there was a lot of heat regards to this whether it's single parenting going to work or from welfare to work. And what I've learned in social work is how the media and the country reacts to those who are the benefits. They punish them, name calling them, dole bludger, the rudder of the society. Now, first things first, no matter which country you live in the world, and you have social welfare, the last thing the society wants to weaken is the wage earners. They say, well, that guy, look at him, he's sitting there doing nothing and he's getting paid. And guess where's the pay's coming from? Out of my taxes. He's sitting there and doing that and lazy it off and things like that. But what they don't, that's what the media influence worker, because workers have to pay a lot of taxes, and I appreciate that. And they pay a lot of taxes. And one area is social welfare. Now, so welfare states are usually quarter of the taxes generated goes towards the welfare. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. Okay. First things first. A lot of people will always talk about it. Why can't they just go out and get a job? This and that. And they have no. You can talk about this sort of stuff, no problem. But living in a first world country is mainly dominated with technological and as well with service industry. We are very much under employment, and we literally faking unemployment numbers. According to what I've learned in social work, how if you work 8 hours within 6 to 8 weeks, you're classified as employed according to Australian Bureau of Statistics. So, wow. Okay. That's how it works. All right. So when you have that, it created a different aspect, right? So the media and the government saying you're dole bludger, dole rudder, and then news media and the newspaper, they just want to make the wage earner work as hard. Don't fall down. You're scum if you fall down. You're scum to even think about getting a government wages, a government welfare. All right, let's talk about my experience. Right now, when I finished my study in aged care, I decided not to go on the welfare anymore. I could transition to, study welfare. We'll call it New Start allowance. Sorry. Or study allowance, which is study welfare, to New Start allowance. New Start allowance is pretty much unemployment allowance. I decided not to go to New Start allowance, right? Because I know the hurdles. I know a lot of commitment. What you have to go through. The work tests, activity tests that you have to go through with the welfare. And I'm ready to walk away from social welfare for the last 5 years. And I'm used to it. And I just want to break the barrier and try to be like every citizen, pay the taxes and do good for the society. So you have that. Okay. So I was like that. And immediately, I probably 2-3 weeks later, when I got out the welfare, I got a job interview, and somehow it led me into 1 month of job interview assessment process. Like, you have to go through physical tests, you got to go through this training, that training, and then you have to, I have a long delay with my police check. I got no criminal record, just to let you guys know. Somehow I was selected to be manually checked. And, you got to sign the contracts, and then you got to wait for contracts to arrive, tax paper to finish, and all of them, yada, yada. It took me 1 month. Now, be mindful, that's an entry-level job. But those who wants to work in corporate world or high position, you have to go through that sort of extent, or even more. You have to go for even more. But think about it. I didn't generate any income. During that time, I was lucky that my grandma had some grief money for me, so for me to survive on. But now I'm in the workforce for 2 months. What really struck me the most, and I do understand from a social work and the government point of view, is that when you're used to welfare, and you don't think about the hurdles or what's the cost, like major costs. I remember my last paycheck. I was working 60 hours a fortnight, and I had to pay $500 tax. I was very shocked and very, very upset about it, because why I'm paying $500? Because in the past, I've always been working in casual. I never worked in permanent part-time. So when you have that sort of upbringing, and those in the welfare, and suddenly you have to pay that much tax, and you're like saying, oh, maybe I should go back to welfare because this sounds a lot better. That $500, I can do a lot, But also, you put your bad behavior, your casual, not giving a fuck about anything. Because when you're in welfare, sorry, you have to use that language, but you quite understand when you're in welfare, you have no responsibility. You don't care much. But when you have a job, you have a lot of responsibility, right? Whether it's a low skill or high skill, regardless of the job, right? Because when you're on welfare for so long, you lost the skill on how to be professionalism and how to be, not to be casual. Try to be like the best of the best. Try to deliver. And plus, you're on probation. Now, I've done so many mistakes, and this time, I've definitely made a mistake. I made a mistake because I was saying that, I'm on 6 months, because nothing is forever, right? You live in a sort of environment, nothing's forever. You may as well do it just by tomorrow. So I'm on 6 months promotion. I get shift. I don't have permanent shift, but shift fluctuates week by week, or I get called in out of the sudden. Now, and then you brought that welfare mentality, may as well just, go on a holiday or go family visit. Don't worry about it. And when you're on a probation for 6 months, I'm not on my second month, but what I'm trying to say on this video is saying that when you're on the welfare, you don't think of, how to be a great image worker instead of lashing out. And one of my biggest mistakes until right now is to ask for annual leave. I don't care if I get paid or not, and I just want to leave for 2 weeks after I finish my probation. And I'm such an idiot for asking for it. And I'm glad that I could not lodge in the paper because of I don't have permanent shifts. But I asked the manager, and the manager is going through. Now, when you go through that is so terrible, asking for annual leave straight after you finish your 6 months probation. And there's a reason behind. That's a personal reason. Like, me and my missus, that's how we met during this volunteer event, and we'd like to go back and really, go back to the same event again. And it's a free event, everything, accommodation, food is free. The maximum money I have to spend, probably $200. That's about it. But it's like a free event, why not? But that impression given to employers is such a terrible thing. He doesn't care. All he cares about is holidays. That's one part. And another part is being on a welfare, when you don't have much responsibility, you use bad habit, the casualty habits, right? Kicks in. Now, and then you brought that, you type in whatever it is on a piece of paper or progress notes or anything. And it kind of got me in trouble. And you started to look back saying that I've always been casual. I've always been on welfare. I've always been never have responsibility. Now, out of the sudden, have responsibility. And it's hard to transition straight away or know why it's important. Like, I know it's common sense to many of you guys watching this, or I can't say, maybe one of you guys, only one of you guys watch this video. If you're one of them, you understand what I'm saying. But it's true, when you're on welfare for too long, damn, it really damages you and everything. And it probably nags you, you don't admit your mistakes and things like that. But now, looking back at now, how much stupidity I have done. So that's about it. That's the video. Now I understand what the government is referring, like the consequences, the damage it creates for people, those who are on welfare for a very long time. So yeah,